New Zealand and Japan are the first elimination match of the weekend. One of these teams is going to get kicked out of HGG right now. Not quite getting their spot in the top four. Lorinda, this is what it's all about. It's the final weekend.
It is indeed first team going to be eliminated, and I don't want to see either of these two go, but I say that every time I see elimination matches in anything. New Zealand with their anti-Holy Wrath Paladin strategy, and Japan. I'm a big fan of Japan this weekend. We are going to see the Rogue deck that you've all seen a million times before, but this is where it began.
I will fight.
But first, we are going to get Paladin versus Paladin. Maybe not, because that looks suspiciously no. Well, one of them's a Highlander Paladin, so this is definitely an incorrect mulligan display.
Well,
if New Zealand have got two Consecration in their deck, there's something very wrong.
You had me going for a second there, production. I'll tell you that much. Whoa!
Who knew?
All right, and back to reality. No, that is the same hand twice.
Okay, well, we know that that is not New Zealand's hand. If they are playing Paladin at all, they are playing Highlander, so definitely not what they're doing. So I guess we'll just...
Okay, wait, what? Oh, okay. I think we're fixing it.
Open those packs. 33 packs.
There we go. That's looking more like it.
Or less like it, actually. What a hand.
Wait, it's a bad hand. That's true. So I guess the name of the game is survive until turn 9, get down Alex Straza, and then win game? Profit? Question mark?
Yeah, depending how late in the game you are. They will have tested this a lot. Obviously, they are lining up to beat this deck. So let's have a look what anti-Holy Wrath Paladin decks they've got. They've got the double Albatross. Well, the single Albatross in this particular deck. Double Albatross and everything else. They have got Hakar, which is a big deal if they can get it. And they have got it. And then the rest doesn't really matter. It's just stuff. Zephyrus,
you like
maybe?
your stuff on the board, Lorinda.
Hmm.
That is a Lorinda special.
But getting to Hakar seems like a big deal.
Yes, I mean that is the point of this deck. Just to reiterate from earlier on, Jack Attack and Patra's Paladin. Their whole lineup. The whole purpose of their lineup is to prey on the Shivala Paladin, and putting out a Baleful Banker is a good start. That does reduce the amount of times the combo can be done. If that Hakar gets played, and if Jack Attack isn't dead at the time, then they probably just win as a result.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if at any point Japan will try something different. Like board full of 7/5s might get the job done. There's not that much removal in the New Zealand Paladin. There's enough. So there's no other way for them to put pressure on. And even this Hecklebot's going to be irritating just for slowing things down.
I wonder.
We may see at some point that Japan just have to go for it on a weird 1 in 7 or something.
I mean, I've seen worse odds, and I've seen it be successful in worse odds. What is that crystallizer?
What is going on? All those crystals. Don't have crystals, kids. You end up like that. Get drawing cards. Hope they don't have Hakar. That'd be my plan here. And we don't know how the mulligan went, so we don't know if they kept a card or not. Obviously, if the Hakar was in the opening hand, and Japan know this, they know there's a Hakar.
Does Glory ever have enough pressure to just win the game without the combo? Is that possible? It doesn't feel like it.
I mean, it's dependent on what your opponent does, weirdly enough. But yeah, at the moment, no. But it's a thing that can happen.
Wow!
Yeah, they're just pointing everything. Get them down below 25. Try and keep them there. And at some point, Holy Wrath just launch to the face. Maybe do it next turn. You've got a 1 in 14 chance of winning the game.
There is something funky going on with the client this game. A little upside down Twilight well prepared for a second there.
So every turn now we have to analyse the odds. I'm
Okay.
going to assume that New Zealand drew that Hakar and that Japan saw that keep because we
Okay.
didn't see the mulligan.
Yep.
So they know that's Hakar. They know they've got this time to do it. So their plan is to go for the long shot the turn before Hakar, probably.
Okay.
Something along those lines, and just launch the... They can win this turn if they roll high.
It's possible. I mean, I almost don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but it is possible to win even after her card gets played if they can fill up their hand and burn the bloods, and having already drawn the vital cards. But that's it's such a rabbit hole because it doesn't it shouldn't work out, that strategy.
It won't work out too often, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely right to bring it up. And I think Japan do just have to wait and see, but they're setting their stall out to go for the long shot should the chance come up by making sure New Zealand is as low on health as possible.
1 mana Blatant Decoy there. So the fun thing about Blatant Decoy in this matchup is that if you can hit the second Baleful Banker with that, then there goes the combo.
I wonder.
Yes.
And then, of course, you get the Death Rattle again when the Undertaker gets played.
Yes.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, this is a beautifully constructed deck to do what it's meant to do. Like, when I saw the deck list, I was like, what is this mess? But time and again, Jack Attack and Patra have proved that they don't make a mess. They know exactly what they're doing. Just look at Glue. Do you get the feeling he's getting more and more tempted just to launch face every turn?
You want to just launch the Holy Wrath?
I don't want to. I think I want to draw a couple of cards, then launch face soon before any healing occurs.
It is a 1 in 6 chance now. You can just do it twice, right? It's not bad. But then they've only lost 1 bank out. Is that?
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can do it now. I think the game isn't dead enough just yet, but.
But it's very real possibility very soon.
Like the other question is, if you're going down that route, if you're thinking of doing it, you time out this turn, for instance.
Right.
But then the danger is you draw it, so it doesn't really help your odds particularly. So yeah, clear this board. See what happens the next couple of turns, then take a view, and if it comes to it, go face. The sideways cards are amusing me way more than they should.
It is entertaining. The Undertaker comes out now before the decoy, interestingly. So that is just, I believe the only death rattle, is summoning the 7/7 Mech Dragon. I wonder why he didn't opt to go for the decoy first.
I hope you like my invention.
Either way, Alexstrasza into Hakar are both going to be doable next turn. Sorry, Alexstrasza next turn into Hakar the following turn, which does feel very strong. It's hard to justify not playing Alexstrasza here. There is the hand space, so yeah, just make a huge board. If Glory has to spend his turn dealing with it, with equalities and things, then follow up with Hakar.
Down to 8 cards in the deck now, though.
The Priest Legendary. Play every card your opponent played last turn. And it costs 0! So next time Glory clears the board, Jack Attack can just do it back while developing an 8/8.
Yep.
I wonder.
I think we're going to see the Hail Mary here.
From Glory, yeah. I mean, now it's really not bad, is it?
It's getting tempting. Depends how much the Christology helps you as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. So Christology first. If it does draw 2 cards, then it's a 2 in 5 chance all of a sudden. Oh. Okay, that's not Shivala.
I really want to see it, but...
Well, if he can hold out for one more turn, Lorinda.
Yeah.
If he can hold out for one more turn, If he draws Shivala, he can just Shivala Banker and then try it. If he doesn't draw Shivala, it just increases his odds. And Hakar isn't going to be played and also get destroyed this turn. That's just not realistic. So this turn is all about surviving and just waiting for next turn to happen.
Just going to have a look how much healing New Zealand have in their deck, because they might be scared of that as well. There's a Ziliax. Flash of Light. So yeah, they can wait.
Oh, there's Shivala. So yeah, Shivala, Banker. That would be 5 cards in the deck. So it's a 2 in 5 for lethal next turn, if Glory wanted to take it.
Yes, I think it's slightly better than that. Like, no, you're right. You're right. I'm being crazy. Ignore me.
Oh, timeout on the other side!
Wow.
I hope you like my invention.
That's nuts! What?
Because they know this is the turn where they've got to go for it. That's nicely worked.
Little smirk from Glory there, and I don't blame him at all.
So now can he survive one more turn and not kill off the Hakar?
Wait, where did the Spellwood Jeweler come from? Because that is also protection.
In
from
their
home
deck.
attack. It's in the deck. Yeah, well there you go. That's
Just a
protection.
card that they play.
That's protection against the Holy Realm.
Yeah.
You play it, and then you're essentially invulnerable for another turn, at least from Holy Realm.
Yep.
Silencing your own minion to not fill your hand with trash. Amazing.
And yet their entire deck's full of trash. So why bother?
Wow! Shots fired.
No, not at all. The deck is designed to do something, and it's doing that something, as we can see, extremely well.
Agreed.
It just like in their first games, actually, they amused me with the rogue deck that I wasn't a fan of. But again, it did its job. That's all you can ask for from your deck. One of the advantages of building your own concoctions in Hearthstone is you know what they do and how they work and why every piece is in there.
Yeah.
And you know all the combos. You don't know them all, because how can anyone know all the combos of this deck? But you know the major combos because you put them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be insulting to New Zealand. I think they've been one of the more entertaining teams we've had in the tournament from how they've built their lineups and approached the game.
Entertaining, and we certainly see it potentially paying off, but they have to play this incredibly carefully right now. If they don't play the Spellwood Jeweler now, then Glory could just go Shivala Banker for a 50-50 chance for lethal. If they do play the Jeweler now, then it's an even better chance for lethal next turn, as Jack Attack cannot fit in Hakar on the same turn.
Let me think.
There he goes.
The decoy would pull out Shivala from Glory's hand if played and killed off. And it has been played!
My. Oof.
I think Glory needs to preempt this now and play Shivala into Sathrova this turn. I believe that's the only way to protect the combo.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Let me
Glory's head hurts.
So yeah, play Shivala. The problem is playing Shivala. Playing Shivala means the lowest cost card in the hand is Baleful Banker, which would then be pulled out by the decoy. So even that doesn't actually protect it.
I will split your soul apart.
It's time to test your metal.
I guess now the play is hope that Shivala isn't drawn next turn. Oh no, sorry, the Shivala in the hand is drawn. Okay, that's fine. That's fine then.
That looks okay. Equality Consecration, though, in hand, so...
It doesn't matter though, because Glory,
26 health now.
Glory has a 2 and 3. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
They've crept up to 26, which is massive.
Very well played. Will be 28 after the True Silver. Oh, wow, no, 30 after the True Silver Swing,
Yeah.
thanks to Kangor. Wow!
Yeah, Jack Attack just one of the most underrated players we have in Hearthstone at the moment. I mentioned his record in the other group stages. I'll talk about it again in a moment, but he has done incredibly well this year without actually managing to make the breakthrough.
If I'm not mistaken, Jack Attack won the Sydney tour stop last year. Is that right?
Sounds familiar?
I believe that's right.
I wonder.
But he's played like 400 plus qualifying matches and done really, really well in all of them apart from his top 8 ones. He's made 15 top 8 in the first 3 qualifying series and didn't win any of them. He even qualified for the Masters Tour by having virtue of 6 top 8s, I believe, at the start of the year.
I must move quickly.
I just get the impression that at the other end of this conversation, Possess is just writing down numbers and trying desperately to calculate what's going on.
You think you can take me?
The players could see each other in the Skype calls, so yeah, keeping a straight face is part of what you're doing.
Problem for Jack Attack is there's just no way to trigger the Hakar right now. I don't think there's even a way to kill off his own Albatross.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
I hope you like my invention.
Still isn't quite there. Gaining armor though. If we can get tank up from Finley.
I think it might be a bit slow, but yeah.
Oh no, it's gonna have to be Dire Shapeshift, isn't it? No way.
Every turn you don't play Hakar's, another turn where Hakar's not dying anytime soon. Yeah, Glory's a lot more comfortable now. Bit of a seat adjustment going on. He's realised this is sort of working to their favour now.
Oh, Thekel survives. 33 health. Okay, so the Thekel deals with the 3 armor. Glory shouldn't. Oh. Oh, a double Holy Wrath is just lethal most of the time, right? Depends what the final card is.
Yeah.
As long as
I'm
it's,
almost out of cards.
as long as it deals at least 5 damage. Even if it doesn't.
Well, now they've got Zephyrus as well.
Zephyrus into Soulfire. Oh, Zephyrus with 6 mana remaining also gets
Yeah.
that. All right, Glory. Unfortunately for Jack Attack and Patra, unfortunately for New Zealand, their whole strategy so far of prevent the Shivala Paladin from winning a game crumbled, and now Jack Attack and Patra are going to have a very tough series ahead of them. They need to find a way to get through the other decks for Japan, the Warrior and the Rogue, with their lineup. It's going to be a tough one, Lorinda.
Yeah, they're now definitely got a lot of work to do. The decks they're not bad decks, but they're not designed to take on the more tuned decks. We're going to see Japan's Rogue in action. Please be now. Yes.
With honor.
This is the Rogue. You're all wondering, well, why is Lorinda so excited about this stupid Rogue deck that we've seen all week? This is because Possessi made this deck. He kept it quiet. He submitted it to this tournament. And only then did people start to play it after decks were revealed. That's why I'm excited. He's got a massive advantage.
Creator. Absolutely. A little bit like the, like you said, the Corridor Creeper of back with Trinity series of Team Love You Lots, where they kept that card a secret and then put it in all of their decks. Well, let's see if it pays off for Glory. Sorry, for Possessi.
Yeah, well, Glory
and Glory.
could well have had a lot of input into it, but Possessi has a history of making very strong decks. He made a deck, and he's made so many good decks that I couldn't Google to remind myself which was the famous one, but he made another famously... a deck we were stuck with forever was another one of Possessi's concoctions, but I can't remember which one it was.
Now, Lorinda, I did message Possessi earlier in the week and ask him for some info about Hearthstone Global Games. And I will read you exactly what he said to me, okay?
Okay.
I found Death Battle Rogue strong on Friday, and I didn't use it on the ladder until deck submission. I really, really wanted to use it. That was it.
Really
That
is.
was the information I got from Possessi. So,
Right.
it must have taken a lot of effort to hold back that rogue deck, but let's see if it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, he was ranked 13 legend with it on Monday. So
Excellent.
the second it was submitted, he didn't hold it back for long. I thought he'd been practicing it on ladder because of the rank 13 legend thing. So that's interesting that he actually kept it back that long.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Well, there is a Necreum file in hand. And that is bad for Jack Attack. Very bad, in fact.
Yeah. I mean, he's done what he had to do, is try and get rid of it, but it's still just going to be available anyway.
Yes, as long as that Hecklebot is no more at the end of this turn, then Shrink Ray will not deal with the Anubiseth. And, yeah. Oh god, even the weapon goes off this turn. This is a disaster!
It's an absolute poor disaster.
This is the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. I'm not even just talking about Hearthstone. This is just the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't me having anything against New Zealand. I want this deck to win every game it plays in HGG because that level of discovery deserves to be rewarded.
Do we play the 4-4 Wisp? Nah, let's wait until it's a 12-12.
Yeah, you've got quite a lot of combo stuff going on. You probably keep it, but then do you think it changes the clock by playing it now? Like you say, rather 12-12, thanks.
It's a 12-12 literally next turn. I think that's fine.
Yeah, and now what? Well done, you've turned into what?
Sorry, a 10-10. It gets +3/+3. I had +4/+4 in my head for some reason.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
I just make up numbers when it comes to this sort of deck, honestly, and no one cares.
So
Just say a big number, 17-17, and no one checks. If they do, they shouldn't be doing that.
So South Sea Deckhand has 8 attack, and that's the right.
Jack's seen enough. The smile on Jack's face says it all, though, as well. It's like, again, we're travelling back in time. This was last Sunday. No one had seen this deck. And he's the first one to witness it because he got banned in Japan's first match. And he's just understood, okay, they've discovered a deck that we didn't. What can you do?
I have very few words for that. I mean, that was because of the Hecklebot. Not because, you make no mistake, that was because of the Hecklebot. But despite how fast that was, we are going to go to a very short break. Well, we potentially get to the end of this series very soon. Japan only have their warrior left to win with. It's going to be some fast games either way. I'm looking forward to this one, but we'll be back in just a few moments. New Zealand are having a bit of a bad day. I'm going to just put it out there. As their whole strategy was to counter Shivala Paladin, and they lost to Shivala Paladin in the first game, which means they now need to 3-0 Pirate Warrior with their lineup, which was definitely not built to face Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, with the exception of Mage, which they haven't brought this time around. If you're trying to take down aggro decks with control decks that are Highlanders, you tend to have a bit of an issue going on. So they have got their work cut out to get this done.
Yeah, indeed. They're going to start off with the, well, I almost said the mirror. It's not really a mirror in any way other than class, as these decks could not be further apart from each other.
Yeah, the Bomb Warrior, again, as we keep on harping on about, designed to beat the Holy Wrath Paladin with bombs and putting things in your opponent's deck and messing them around. But the Pirates just built to kill you really quickly, so you don't want to be messing around too long with your bombs because you will just be exploded. This looks a reasonable start. As Darrett correctly pointed out earlier, any hand with Ankar in is basically just a good hand.
Yeah. Ankara is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just not only does it pull out the weaker minions from your deck to make your average card draw better, but just, yeah, I mean, a pirate every single turn, then you can return it back to the board again with the 4-mana pirate, whose name I'm desperately trying to remember right now.
What now?
Was that a throw to? Yeah,
Horde
Horde
Pillager. There we go.
Yes.
Gotcha. I got that.
Sorry. To
Oh, no.
just leave you hanging there.
It's all right. However, Patra has Warpath. She has 2 Restless Mummies in the hand. She has a lot of good defensive tools. Maybe she can survive the onslaught of pirates.
Maybe. Or maybe not. I mean, the Warpath looks good and all that, but by the time it can even do 2 to everything, they're going to have taken a chunk of damage.
Horde
There you go,
Pillager
Horde
drawn
Pillager.
already as well. Now the difficult question is, do we go face or are we killing this Elec? And it looks like we're killing it.
Okay. Well, you draw another card anyway, who cares?
It's tough. It's tough. That's 3 damage you're throwing away.
Yeah, but you automatically lose damage by giving up your captain, so it's a very tough decision. Because you give up the 3 damage now, but how much damage is that captain worth in the future if you buff other things with it?
I'm using a little bit of caster vision here, granted, but like I'm looking at 2 Restless Mummies, I'm looking at Warpath, and I'm looking at Dynamatic. This is a deck full of removal. Possessi is not going to have a board after turn 5, like regardless of the sequence of card draws. This warrior deck is going to get rid of your board.
That's a big difference, though, if you get this turn in one more time.
Okay.
I think face is probably correct, but it's so hard to know, because turn 4 there's only really Restless Mummy does it. They double Warpath, good for them. So yeah, it's a good call there by Possessi. One of thousands of good calls he's made over the last 2 or 3 years.
No tomb can hold me.
But yes, alas, Restless Mummy will be dealing with the Southsea captain. And now I think it's probably time for Possessi to start just throwing everything to the face. See what's drawn. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Could go double 1-drop, Dread Corsair, and Parachute Brigand.
Yeah, he
Skips.
will want to get either less than 5, but preferably more than 5 health on the board because of Dynamatic. That's not just Cast Division, that's like the next logical card that comes out. So
I like this. With the Bloodsouled Raider drawn, I think it's
Yeah.
just better than Dread Corsair, and now that is considerably more than 5 health on the board. Second Restless Mummy would still be a problem, and probably will still be a problem. Warpath is irritating, but not the end of the world.
yeah, it's if they miss their turn to Warpath and you hit them for a 4/3 minion or 4/1 next turn, that's fine. You can't expect the second Restless Mummy. It's not even that great, but it's probably what they'll play. Dynamatic isn't guaranteed to kill anything,
No tomb can hold
incredibly.
me. No tomb can hold me.
Oh,
Captain Greenskin. He's so good.
that's a good draw, isn't it?
Seems to be.
Nice little on
Definitely seems to
curve
be.
weapon buff there. Okay. Possessi elects to go for more stats instead.
This is a lot of stats.
It is a lot of stats.
15 extra stats on the board.
A couple more stats than it would have been if this game was played today, in fact.
And this puts, this is out of Warpath range as well, so saving it for later. Yeah, good point. Saving it for later might actually result in problems, so just getting it down now. You've got 2 turns, Warpath 3. And Ankar's just done so much damage here. Without that, I think the control deck would just about be holding on by now. A lot of this stuff wouldn't be in hand, etc. But the pressure is enormous now. Just to clarify for chat, none of the games in this tournament were played on the new patch. They were all played earlier in the week before the patch took place.
Yep.
It was unfair to make people... They only had 4 days to submit as it was. It's unfair to make them only have like 1 day or something.
Yep. Right. 11 damage on board, all able to go face. Corcoran in hand, that's 15. That would be 7 off lethal. Horde Pillager would bring back the Ankar and allow Possessi to continue drawing these pirates from the deck. That is very tempting. Wow, Possessi going to go for a little bit of a board clear there instead with the Reckless Mummy, and I assume use the 1-2 to deal with one of the 1-1s.
Yeah, very instructive play, that one. 4-6 just lines up so badly into your 5-4s. The best way to protect your board is doing this. One of the keys to any aggro deck is actually keeping your stuff alive long enough that it can do damage. And okay, we can see there's things, including dynamatics, that might work out okay here for New Zealand, but how Possessi's played that turn is very tidy. The 5-4s are getting the job done, why lose them?
What now?
So is this setting up Warpath? No, probably not. Oh, it is. That can't be enough. Okay, nice. Single Warpath Dynamatic clearing everything. That does
Uses
work.
up a lot of resources though.
Yeah, that's why I didn't instantly spot it. It's like not a natural looking play, but that's going to work out okay.
And now
But this
Horde
Town Cry pickup just allows you to go another faceless. You've just seen how they've wasted resources to deal with the last 2.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was looking at Horde Pillager into Dread Corsair, but I mean, absolutely, just play this for the Faceless body. And wow, now what is Patra going to do to deal with this? I think the only option she's really got is to play an Albatross to try and contest. But now Shield Slam drawn with Shield Block in hand.
Yeah, that's going to help. Good ordering, getting rid of any
Ziliax.
potential draws before doing the shield block.
Is this the comeback? Eternium Rover with Ziliax?
That's for next turn. They're going to be on quite a high health total. But all the anchoring is going to start all over again in a moment, so it's definitely not out of the woods yet.
I'm sorry, Lorinda, that's anchoring. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to get this for 2 years, aren't I?
Yep.
Oh dear. Oh well. I had my
Arcanite-
run with gloops and flutes.
Okay, so Arcanite Reaper's probably better than Horde Pillager, right? Like, I'd rather just hit him for 5. 10 damage available now. We're only 17 damage. Oh, no, Possessi disagrees.
Just get cards. You probably don't get there. There you go.
I mean, you can't complain about that draw.
I don't forget you can replace the Ankar next. If it does get you there with the Reaper and the Corknol, you just swap them over. You got 9 mana.
That is true. Good point. Siciliax deals with 1. Shield Slam deals with the 5-1.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Yep, armor up, shield slam. That's really nice for Patra. Feels like she's turning a corner, but she only has 1 card in her hand.
Yeah, there's scale, right? You say it's really nice. It's okay, but
And this is why the play that Possessi went with, that you agreed with, of keeping that Ankara equipped. This is why that's worked out, because now Patra's run out of stuff. Possessi can probably just overwhelm her with pirates.
yeah, but the other option's on now as well. He is going to continue.
Yeah, I think the Ankara is just too valuable now.
Yeah. Possessi's trading, unless I'm even more ridiculously out of touch than usual in this game, has been absolutely astonishing.
Yeah.
Like, astonishing's wrong. Instructive. If you want to watch how to play aggro, he's never let Patra have enough damage on board to kill things he considers important at any point. It's just been steady. It's a really nice game.
4, 8, 13 damage on board, including the Arcanite Reaper. 14 damage if you buff it up with Captain Greenskin, or if you play South Sea Captain. So 14 damage total available, but again, I expect to see the Ankar swing this turn instead.
I'll go through all of the draws. There's not that many things in Patra's deck that will actually make a difference. Just finding out the breakpoints is the key here for Possessi. Yeah, just going to keep the pain coming.
Oh. Just, yeah? Your opponent has no board clears. She has nothing in her hand. Go ahead. Play a board as wide as you like.
Well, he's going to play around the second warpath, I believe.
Okay.
So he's got to put lethal on the board and keep everything else back. So I imagine at the end of all this, there'll be exact lethal on board. I don't know that for sure.
You didn't run out of time there. But, I mean, there's a lot more than exact lethal here. What the... Seaphorian Bomber, though, is not enough to protect Patra. She concedes and just take down New Zealand with a 3-0 victory, Lorinda. That is not what I expected.
Not what I expected either, although, again, I keep on about it, but it was the last time you'll hear me say it today. Japan bringing a deck that nobody else had unearthed is a big, big advantage. That's like a free win every game. It was banned in round 1. That's a free win. You get to play your Shaman. So, yeah. This time around, they just murdered that Paladin deck with it. Yeah, you're starting every game 1-0 up. It's a big advantage. So New Zealand's Paladin, anti-Paladin strategy not really working for them. So if they'd had more time, maybe they could have tuned that up. But it was a good idea. It worked for them in the group stages, targeting a deck. Didn't come off today, but they made the right decision. Just the execution, if you like. They were right. Everybody bought Holy Wrath Paladin. That's a really good strategic idea. Just maybe could have brought the tools to do that a little better. But Japan, for me, big Japan fan, big Possessi fan after this Rogue deck. I'll be watching the next match very, very carefully.
Agreed. Well, we need to say a heartfelt goodbye to New Zealand, but coming up, we have one match remaining today. It's the final match in Group A. It's the decider match. You don't want to miss it. It's coming up after this.